What's up, guys? Derek Johnson of the Freedom Factory here. Today I'm going to give you guys access to a tool that I use, and hopefully it'll help you as well. I'm calling it the Freedom Workbook. So it's got a couple different tabs. One of them is a net worth tracker. So you can keep track of all your financial statements and track your cash flow and net worth over time. There's a blank one here and a demo one you can use to see how it works. Once you're done, you can just link your new cash flow and net worth numbers to this front tab if you want to and track that data. Also, I put in an amortization schedule. So if you are into real estate investing, this is a good tool. I'll show you in the video how it can help you out. Here is a seller's net sheet. You can quickly calculate the net cash from a real estate sale. I put a financial calculator here with the time value of money. You can project how putting a little bit of money away each month might turn into a big sum of money over time if you can just get a modest rate of return. Say for the S&P 500 index, it's around 8%. So play around with that. It's pretty cool. And I also put some resources I recommend you check into on this back tab. So go ahead and check out the video. Grab the workbook. If you have any questions, drop them below. And I'll also link to the Money Makeover Challenge little mini course that I created where it'll go more in depth on this stuff and teach you more about my mindset and how you can take control of your financial future. So appreciate you guys. This one's just a freebie. Check it out, and I'll see you in the next video. So this is going to be a free tool for you guys to use. It's a net worth tracker. You can track your cash flow and your net worth using this workbook. And we'll cover that stuff on here. So basically, it's your financial statements, your personal financial statements. Every business has these, and every person has these, whether they know it or not. The fact that you're not tracking them means you have some improvements you can do. So hopefully this workbook is going to help you to improve your finances. That's my goal with it. I started tracking my net worth like 6 or 7 years ago. And when I started, it was negative. It was a negative number. I think I was like 30,000 in debt. And I just started tracking it, did some things to cut back on expenses, increase my cash flow, started investing more, and that just started to grow my net worth. So over the span of about 5 years, I went from negative 30,000 to over 230,000 positive net worth. And you can do that and more. You can get as crazy as you want when it comes to cutting back on your expenses and increasing your income. And then investing that income into assets like rental properties, index funds, or software, or digital assets, whatever it might be that can grow your income and increase your assets. So it becomes a cycle, right? There's a path that money takes. Most people have a job and they have all of these expenses, and that's about it. Well, that's the end of that path of money, because all you're doing is earning income to pay bills. And that's what I don't want for you guys. I want you guys to earn income, pay your bills, and have some cash flow left over, right, to invest in assets or just do things that you want to do. So I want you to find your why. You need a big why, a driving factor that motivates you to do that thing, right? So I like helping entrepreneurs and small business owners free up more of their time, and that's why I got into software and automation. So I worked in the factory for 10 years, and all my time was tied up. I would work 12-hour nights on third shift, but because I was a CNC machine operator, that cycle time did give me time. So that's what I realized. Those machines were running for me. I had time to think, time to do other things during my shift all night. All my coworkers were probably scrolling on Facebook, checking YouTube videos and stuff like that, but I was researching real estate. I was reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor, books like this that would actually increase my financial intelligence. I went back to college, graduated magna cum laude with a bachelor's in accounting from the University of Northern Iowa. And that was because I had that big why in the back of my head, because I didn't want to be in the factory. I wanted more time with my family. And so I started investing into assets. And you can do the same thing. Use this blank one here. Just come in, fill this in with your information, whatever information you have. This is a monthly basis. You want to get your income that you make in a month. I put a low end, a high end. So if you have a set wage or salary, you can put the same thing in both slots. Or if your job kind of fluctuates a little bit, you can project a low and a high end cash flow. Expenses are usually pretty set. So come in here, add all your expenses. The best way to do this is check your bank statements. So log into your online banking account, or if you're like allergic to the internet and online things, like security is an issue for you, go get them from your bank. They will give you your bank statements. I would get like 3 months worth, so you don't miss any quarterly issues like utilities and stuff like that. Car insurance could be biannually. Just make sure you capture all those expenses, put them here, and then you can kind of sort through here to see what's a want versus a need. And I want you to really pay attention as you go through your list, and self-audit yourself on what is a want versus a need. Obviously, we need someplace to live, right? So I'd say this would be a need. Internet, I think this is kind of a need, but how much do you need of it? That's a good question. And maybe it's not a need, depending on where you are financially. Utilities, you got to have utilities. Car insurance. There's people who get real deep into financial independence who recommend just getting a bicycle. They don't want to deal with the car payments for sure. They don't want to deal with the maintenance and the insurance, and it's just healthier overall. So if you come in here to the free resources tab and check out Mr. Money Mustache and his blog, I linked to one of his blogs here. It's about the 4% rule and how to actually become financially free. And just for a little hint, it has nothing to do with an age. Retirement age is a myth. They use that to keep people working as long as they can. So it's actually just a simple equation. When your income from investments covers your expenses, you're financially free. So you don't have to be a certain age to become financially free. You just need to figure out this equation, see how many assets you need to cover all of your expenses, and You might find out you can do something that makes you a lot happier over here, even if it pays you less money, if you cut out these expenses. And that's what I did. That's what I recommend most people do to find a happier life. Because we don't want to just work, pay bills, and then die. That's not what we're looking to do. So give me 1 second here. Trying to load this link for you guys. Let me just see if I can type it in. So if you're on the live, let me know if that link works. It should pop up a file, and it's going to be a password protected file, and the password is freedom with a capital F. So F is for freedom. You can download this file, and we can kind of go through it as we go here together. So I also built this custom amortization schedule because as a real estate investor, I was always looking for a way to kind of estimate what people owed on a property. I would be looking up county records, or a lot of times it's even on Zillow and Realtor.com and stuff like that. So you can usually see what someone paid for a property, and it usually tells you the date that they bought it. So what this amortization schedule does is you can plug in some other info here, and you can estimate some things like the percentage they might have put down. If it's a regular homeowner, I would put like 3 or 5%. And you can see what it's doing is adjusting these approximate principal balances. So I can put in the purchase price, an estimate of what I think they might have put down on a property, and an interest rate, loan term, taxes, and insurance. And based on the purchase date, it's going to tell me what they probably still owe on their mortgage. So you can use this for your own properties as well, just to calculate all this information. So all these blue cells, these are input cells where you can add information to get a better picture. And I just put this quick lookup reference just so you can get an idea of, based on a year, what the principal balance might be. And this is where you'll put the principal or the purchase date that you'll get from the county records. So I found this useful over time to see if it's worth pursuing a property, or what I should put in for an offer based on what they might be able to accept. Hopefully you do too. I also have a seller's net sheet in here. Most real estate agents have something like this that they can do for you as well. But I just wanted it quickly so I could always calculate for my own properties what I might be able to get if I were to sell that property. So you can see here, we put the range of property prices, and then we'll put our mortgages here. If you have a secondary mortgage, you can enter that here. Closing costs, you can put here. If you're going to sell it yourself or something like that, and you're going to work with buyer's agents, you can change this to 3%. Or if you know someone, like if you have a realtor friend who might just do it for you for a fixed fee, you can just type that in there. And basically, it's going to estimate your net cash if you were to sell it at these different price points. So that can be helpful there. This one's a financial calculator. So I know a lot of people aren't going to use this, but I want you to check it out. Basically, it shows you the time value of money. So I showed you the other day kind of where I was, and I just got back to my pre-COVID numbers. So I was around 134, and this shows you if I were to do nothing else but max out a 401k and get S&P 500 rate of return over 30 years, I would end up with over $3 million. You can change all these inputs as well. So in 10 years, it could be $500,000. In 20 years, it could be over $1 million. So it's kind of powerful to see the power of compound interest. As you change these as well, it shows you over here your total contributions, how much of that is interest, and then your total balance. So pretty useful. The main thing though is get your financial statements in order. If you need any help doing this, let me know. I think this is important. The income statement is what you need to focus on in the beginning. So the beginning starts with getting all your expenses listed here. See what expenses you can cut out or reduce. So all this stuff is really a non-essential expense. And it's not doing anything to move me forward or whoever this person is in this example. So I could really just cut this out. Some of these could be reduced, like the cell phone plan. Check out the free resources here if you want ways to reduce your expenses. So you can check out Mr. Money Mustache's blog. He's like one of the top personal finance people on the internet, and he doesn't ask for any money. He just trains people for free on what he did, on his ideas, and he has a lot of good ideas for reducing expenses. So he retired, I want to say in his 20s, maybe 30, from an engineering job because he took total control of his finances. Another good resource is the Bigger Pockets Money podcast. You can listen to this on the go. They talk a lot about the same stuff Mr. Money Mustache does. Maybe not as extreme as him, but tons of practical information you can use to improve your financial situation. Mint is another personal finance budget tracker. It'll pretty much do all of this stuff for you automatically. So you can connect all your accounts that you have, like your banks, investment accounts. You can add your vehicles, your home information, and it's going to compile all that data and give you actionable insights into your finances. So you can track how much you're spending in a category, how much you're doing over time, and it's a good way to increase your cash flow and your net worth as well. So they get read-only access, so security is not an issue. And this is by the same company that made QuickBooks. So it's Intuit. So it's a solid product if you want to check that out. And for all things real estate, I always recommend Bigger Pockets. I don't even know if there's other platforms out there. There probably is, but Bigger Pockets is the place to go if you want to learn about real estate investing. And just learning real estate's a good place to go, even if you never plan on owning any rental properties, because you can utilize some of the strategies just as a regular person. So one of the strategies is a live-in flip strategy. Every 2 years, you can buy a property, fix it up, and sell it. Say you buy it at $100,000, you fix it up and it's worth $160,000. You can sell it after 2 years and not pay any taxes on that sale. So that's something to keep in mind. Hopefully you guys find some use out of this. Put it into action. If you got any questions about how to fill it out, feel free to reach out to me. I put a link here to my new Facebook group as well. I'm not letting people in right now, but pretty soon I'll be opening this up and diving into more of what I've been doing to grow my own wealth and my business online. So if you're interested in that as well, you can jump in the group. Otherwise, hope you guys have a good weekend. I will check you on the next video.